Tonight, in handcuffs and flanked by police, an accused child rapist taken into custody on a Ferryden Park street.
The Crows hit rock bottom. Fans fed up, but the club's heavy hitters stand strong.
No ease to the strain on our hospital system. More surgeries cancelled as the code yellow emergency carries on.
The desperate search for celebrity doctor Michael Mosley, who's vanished on a Greek island.
And Nine's chairman becomes the headline after an airport encounter with a journalist.
This is Adelaide's 9 News with Kate Collins and Brenton Ragless.
Good evening. 9 News has filmed the dramatic arrest of an alleged child rapist in Adelaide's west.
Police first rushed to the area after reports of a street fight, but were later given allegations of a far more sinister crime. Inga Nielsen has the exclusive details. Inga, the victim was taken to hospital and a man is tonight behind bars.
Yes, Kate, I can tell you a 27-year-old Northern Suburbs man will appear here at the Port Adelaide Magistrates Court on Tuesday, charged with the rape of a teenage girl. Our cameras were there when the accused was taken into custody at Ferryden Park early this morning in handcuffs with his hands in paper bags to preserve evidence. Police have told 9 News the arrest follows a disturbance in the area around 6:30 this morning. It's alleged a teenage girl was assaulted in a fight on a residential street before being taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Several hours later, police returned to the scene and arrested the man over the alleged rape of that girl. Now, Brenton, while investigations are still ongoing, police say that all of those involved are known to each other.
Inga, thank you. The Crows are tonight vowing to stick by the club's most prominent power brokers, despite effectively bombing out of the finals race and hitting rock bottom after a loss to Richmond. As pressure mounts on coach Matthew Nicks, the club's CEO has doubled down on the strategy that has the club mired in mediocrity.
A man out of answers as questions continue mounting.
Post-siren, we sit here in a pretty dark spot.
A loss to the lowly Tigers would have once been unacceptable, but given the stakes, this effort was unfathomable.
We were just beaten by a better team last night.
And given Richmond came to town with just one win, where exactly does that leave Adelaide?
From a finals point of view, it's going to be very, very tough for us mathematically to get in there.
After embracing the expectation of finals footy in pre-season, the fall from grace has been swift. The new reality that this club is still rebuilding.
Our season's done.
Some of the effort tonight, you're just not there.
So I think it's time the club needs to have a look at the players that are going to be part of the next premiership team and those that aren't, and make some pretty ruthless decisions.
The biggest decision is whether Matthew Nicks can lead the club to its next premiership. The coach surprisingly comfortable on a seat that couldn't be much hotter.
I've mentioned it before that I'm actually in the job because I enjoy pressure. Right now it's at its highest.
Perhaps even more so for other senior figures, although it appears the likes of football director Mark Rasciuto, recruiting manager Hamish Ogilvie and list manager Justin Reid are all safe.
I still think that we've got the right people around us to deliver, so I'm sticking by them.
But not everyone shares the CEO's faith.
That list management group has to 100% go in the Bunsen burner. Not enough people say it. It's a boys' club. I thought Tim Silvers would come in here with a silver bullet. But it's the Stockholm syndrome.
Amongst the mounting frustrations, the players remain determined to fight for the fed-up fans.
All we can do really is go to work and keep trying to put out better performances that they can be proud of and that represent them a bit better than what we are right now.
But to do that, they'll need to pull off one of the upsets of the season on Saturday week when they host the premiership favourites Sydney here at Adelaide Oval. Will Crouch, 9 News.
Tonight, more South Australians have been told their elective surgeries have been cancelled as pressure continues to mount on our struggling health system. The revelations come amid a distressing photo of an elderly woman waiting for care.
Curled up on a row of seats, a sick and elderly woman pictured waiting for care inside the Lower McEwen Hospital.
Suffering significant flu symptoms, at one stage coughing so uncontrollably that she nearly lost consciousness.
The opposition claiming this 84-year-old waited almost 10 hours on Wednesday. The Health Minister says he's been unable to verify the claim, but concedes waiting times are too long.
We know that our hospitals are busy and that's why we need additional beds, and that's what we're delivering.
There's now been 8 consecutive days of code yellow, a declared internal emergency, which means our hospitals are at capacity, and it's already resulted in 458 elective surgeries cancelled.
We've continued to have every bed we've had available full, and on numbers of days we've still had our intensive care units full or over full.
As of an hour ago, the rule was lifted in regional hospitals, allowing elective surgery to resume. But for the rest of Adelaide, those restrictions will remain until at least Tuesday, as a wave of COVID and the flu continue to wreak havoc. And health staff haven't been immune, 278 currently off sick. While elective surgeries have been cancelled, the boss of SA Health says patients won't lose their spot on the wait list, although some may become classed as overdue. And tonight, even after a record $2.5 billion cash injection into health in yesterday's state budget, there's still uncertainty of exactly how the system will be fixed.
States around the country are being caught in the middle in this squeeze of a failure of other service delivery, particularly by the Commonwealth.
Ollie Haig, 9 News.
And the Treasurer has headed to the Osborne shipyards to sell his third state budget. Stephen Mulligan meeting with workers to spruik the $692 million skills package, which will include 800 new training places each year dedicated to defence. The boss of BAE Systems confident it will help address future workforce needs.
What we're doing is we're tapping into the entire breadth of the state's academic system, whether it be TAFE, whether it be universities.
The package includes $56 million to try and boost student completion rates.
Police are on the hunt for 4 men after a truck driver was attacked in Penfield Gardens. They say the 47-year-old driver was set upon on Robert Road at around 8 o'clock last night. He was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. It's believed he's known to the suspects. Police have seized 3 cars as the search for the attackers continues.
The operator of Adelaide's casino has been hit with a $67 million fine for breaching anti-money laundering laws. Beth Excel Sky City has been ordered to pay a further $3 million.
Yes, Brenton, that's to cover the legal costs of the country's financial crimes watchdog AUSTRAC, which launched the investigation and legal action against Sky City. The gaming giant admitted the breaches between 2016 and 2022, found to have allowed high-risk customers to funnel millions of dollars through the casino, making the source of the cash hard to trace. AUSTRAC says the company didn't carry out appropriate checks on 121 high-risk patrons, including some the casino knew were of interest to authorities and were at risk of money laundering.
When these casinos are caught doing the wrong thing, well, they've got to do the right thing and they've got to pay money to the Commonwealth Government because of the breaches that they've been found guilty of.
Sky City says it's taken steps to address the issues, and Kate, it must pay the costs to the watchdog in 14 days.
Beth, thank you. A man accused of drunkenly attacking a policewoman after crashing a car on the Oban bus tracks on Christmas night has faced court. McGill man Kwok Leong was allegedly more than 5 times the legal alcohol limit before he lashed out at the female officer on the way to a police station. The 52-year-old's Nissan became stuck when he drove it straight onto the track at the Tea Tree Plaza interchange. He's charged with assault and driving offences. His matter will return to court at a later date.
There are fears tonight for popular television doctor Michael Mosley, who's gone missing while on holiday in the Greek islands. His wife raised the alarm after the British father of 4 failed to return from a short hike.
He's the popular TV doctor who's graced television screens across the world, including in Australia.
Australia has this international reputation for being sporty, fit and super healthy.
Since the 1980s, Michael Mosley has become a trusted voice on health matters. A former medic turned journalist, well known for his 5-2 and Fast 800 diet plans.
I am genuinely confident that the science is really strong.
But there are fears for the 67-year-old, going missing while on holiday on the Greek island Symi. His wife Claire, also a renowned doctor, raising the alarm when he didn't return from a hike along St Nicholas Beach. Emergency services and rescue crews sent to search for the father of 4. Local authorities fear Mr Mosley may have fallen from a great height. A Friends of See Me Facebook post reads, "Have you seen this man? He set off for a walk at 13:30 and failed to make it home." A difficult search and agonising wait for his family, friends and fans. One colleague posting, "He's an absolutely lovely man. Let's all pray he's returned to those who adore him quickly." In London, Edward Godfrey, 9 News.
Australia will soon have a new set of immigration rules, making it easier to deport criminals who aren't citizens. Visas will be assessed under the old system for another fortnight. The opposition tonight demanding the changes take effect immediately.
A fortnight of immigration pain forces a change in direction.
Today I've signed Ministerial Direction 110.
Replacing 99, the ruling that resulted in dozens of non-citizens with long criminal histories having their deportations overturned. One of them, Kevin Farrugia, convicted of kidnapping, assault and a known associate of drug kingpin Tony Mockbell, had his visa reinstated on Monday.
The new revised direction will make crystal clear that the Australian government expects community protection to be given greater weight when it comes to visa decisions.
The strength of a person's ties to Australia will no longer be treated as a primary consideration. Instead, the rewrite stipulates decision makers may afford a higher tolerance to those who have spent the majority of their lives here, but there'll be zero tolerance when it comes to domestic violence.
I hope it will be better for the Australian community than Direction 99 was, but on the details available so far, I've got no confidence that will be the case.
So far, the ministers cancelled 40 visas, including Emmanuel Saki, released from detention, then accused of murdering Brisbane man Bosco Minurano.
There are people who have fallen victim to these criminals who have stayed in our country who should have been deported.
Bosco's brother has told 9 News the changes are too little, too late, and it will still be another 2 weeks before they take effect. Direction 99 in place until then, making further ministerial interventions all but inevitable. Eliza Edwards, 9 News.
He was our longest-serving Treasurer, one of Australia's best-known politicians and no stranger to the spotlight. But tonight, Peter Costello is facing a media storm after he was accused of assaulting a journalist. The chairman of Nine Entertainment has denied the allegations after the incident at Canberra Airport.
A chairman under pressure.
Mr Costello, my name's Liam Mendes from The Australian.
Brushing off a reporter's question.
Were you aware of the allegations against Mr Wick before he left Nine?
And in a mad moment, Peter Costello suddenly becomes the story.
Well, you've got to answer the questions, Mr Costello. Don't. You've just assaulted me.
It looked out of character for a man who's dealt with the media all his public life.
Answered all of your questions today.
11 years as Federal Treasurer, and he never seemed to lose his cool.
Can't say any more.
The Nine Entertainment chairman was in the nation's capital to launch the company's new Canberra bureau, with the Prime Minister by his side.
Just in case people didn't know I was here, I made sure knew that I was here tonight.
And it meant another encounter with the media.
Mr Costello, did you assault a journalist at Canberra Airport?
And this time, he was treading carefully.
Get in front and I'll come and talk to you, all right? That's a much better way of doing it. Otherwise, you'll fall over each other.
And willing to answer questions.
It's no assault. As I said before, he was backing backwards. He hit an advertising placard. I did not lay a finger or a fist or anything else on.
He's trying to say that I walked into there, but I don't
saw it.
You got two guys that saw it.
Yeah, so you guys saw that?
Yeah.
We saw it.
Yeah.
I did not strike him. If he's upset about that, I'm sorry.
Nine chairman Peter Costello denies allegations he assaulted a reporter at Canberra Airport.
The media executive this morning was the headline in newspapers and on radio.
Boss, you've had a shocker.
From a company's point of view, it's not really good when the chairman is accused, let alone acted in the way that he allegedly acted.
It was the hot topic amongst politicians.
He's no shrinking violet. He's given plenty at his time, and you just got to take it.
Peter Costello, I know, is somebody who doesn't have an aggressive bone of that nature in his body.
I think it's really important that we treat journalists with respect, and if anyone should know that, it should be the chairman of a major media organisation.
The 2-minute question and no answer, potentially career-ending.
There's already speculation that this could put your chairmanship at risk. What is your response to that?
Rubbish.
There was a high-powered scheduled meeting today involving 3 senior executives. What was reviewed is unclear, but at this stage there is no indication the board will be urgently recalled to consider the incident and discuss the chairman's future. Peter Costello is said to have left Canberra and gone bush. As for the reporter,
You've just assaulted me.
there's been no official complaint made to ACT Police.
You've just pushed me. It's all on camera.
Damien Ryan, 9 News.
Passengers planning to travel on the Gawler line this long weekend will need to take alternative transport. It will be closed from 9 o'clock tonight for maintenance and infrastructure upgrades. Substitute buses will operate from all stations between Adelaide and Gawler before services resume as normal on Tuesday.
The finishing touches are being put on the City of Light as Paris marks 50 days until the start of the Olympic Games. The Olympic rings have been mounted on the side of the Eiffel Tower, which will feature prominently at the Games as backdrop to the beach volleyball.
Well, with more in sport, we're joined by Tom Rehn and Rennie. Hate to say, it was just such a disastrous loss for the Crows last night.
Finals hope's just about shot now, you'd think, Kate, and a lot of people are very, very upset. Hi, everyone. We'll go into detail as to what's next for the Crows and show where it all went wrong against the rampant Tigers. While Coco Gauff is reduced to tears as she crashes out of the French Open, and a couple of Thunderbirds sparkling like diamonds after being called into the national squad.
Thank you, Rennie. Talk to you soon. Extraordinary results from a world-first children's cancer study.
Coming up in Adelaide's 9 News, how it's set to revolutionise treatment for our little ones battling the cruel disease.
A first look at the luxurious new lounge plans at Adelaide Airport.
And the Wiggles stopped by in SA, the exciting announcement they made while they were here.
Sexual harassment in the retail industry is rife, according to a new report from the Australian Centre for Gender Equality and Inclusion. The research found up to half of all women and 1 in 4 men working in retail have experienced sexual harassment, with women under the age of 25 highly targeted. It also found that many staff are unsure how to report harassment, and those who do are often dissatisfied with the process.
Small businesses are calling for change after it was revealed they're paying about 3 times as much to process credit card transactions as bigger businesses. The Reserve Bank found cafes and convenience stores are forking out $1.7 billion more a year than larger retailers like supermarkets. The Independent Payments Forum Australia group has been formed to fight for lower fees and a better deal.
Scout Brad Sheet is the face of a revolutionary new approach to treating kids' cancer, which finds life-saving drugs by analysing their genes. Doctors today revealed the remarkable results of their world-first precision medicine trial.
A beaming smile and a remarkable turnaround in health. Scout Bradstreet, now 16 months old, was pulled from the brink of a life-threatening brain cancer.
After 7 rounds of the chemo, she had an MRI scan and it showed progression, so Professor Ziegler decided there's better options out there.
That option, the Zero Childhood Cancer Program, which analysed the genetics of her high-grade glioma. A specific mutation led them to a lung cancer drug used in adults.
They grew a tumour in the lab and it melted the tumour in the lab, so he's like, if it works there, it'll work on her.
The oral medication shrunk her tumour by 30% with no side effects.
For the first time in the world, we've been able to treat these children and then follow them for 2 or 3 years and see what the outcome is.
55% of kids with highly aggressive disease had their cancer disappear, achieve partial remission, or their disease stabilised.
We almost double the response rate and we can double the survival rate. And this is extraordinary.
With one tumour tissue sample, experts look for alterations in 24,000 genes. A decade ago, that process took 1 year. The turnaround now is 4 weeks.
With time, we learn a lot more, we got much better.
The results strengthen the resolve of experts and reinforce the need for continued investment in the program, which is available to all kids with cancer across the country, not just those with aggressive forms of disease. Scout's tumour has stopped growing and
We do normal things, which we didn't for that 7 months during chemo.
Gabriella Rogers, 9 News.
What a great result. Well, Qantas travellers at Adelaide Airport will soon have a new and improved experience as the airline unveils its designs for a new lounge precinct. Capacity will increase by more than 10%, with construction on a refurbished Qantas Club starting this month, followed by a new domestic business lounge. The works part of the Flying Kangaroo's $100 million upgrade to its global lounge network.
Anthony Wiggle and his daughter Lucia have put on a show for students at St George College at Mile End. The Wiggles have partnered with the Hellenic Studies Foundation to launch Learning Greek with Lucia, which aims to revolutionise foreign language learning for young children.
There's a real emphasis on the language, on the Greek language and learning the Greek language, of course. That'll encourage children, little children, to it'll give them a sense of belonging when they can speak with their popu, their yaya, in the language of their family.
The duo also performed a couple of the band's classics, including Hot Potato.
Well, Adelaide is host to the world's largest cabaret festival.
Chelsea Carey, tonight it's kicking off with a sold-out event.
Brenton, there's plenty of glitz and glam. The red carpet has been rolled out here at the Festival Centre and guests are arriving for the 2024 Variety Gala. Tonight's event will give guests a little sneak peek of the hottest acts of Adelaide's 24th Cabaret Festival. Over the next 12 nights, world-class singers and storytellers will take to the stage, delivering 76 dazzling performances. Artistic Director Virginia Gay says Adelaide Cabaret crowds are the best in the world.
It's the way that the audience are enthusiastic about cabaret and stay in the foyers and come dressed in their finery and sit and sing with us at the free events afterwards is very cool.
The festival runs until June 22 and is a fantastic way to brighten up some wintry weather. I'll be back with your full long weekend weather forecast a little later. Kate?
We'll see you then. Thank you, Chelsea. A roll call of world leaders joining veterans and the public.
All coming together to commemorate 80 years since the D-Day landings. Ahead, the emotional scenes across the Normandy coast as a fight for freedom is remembered.
Plus, a Scottish woman sues Netflix for $250 million over its latest hit series.
And a new space race fires up. Elon Musk's Starship blasts off as Boeing's Starliner makes its arrival to the International Space Station.
It could be happening in any home.
Nothing gets done, nothing gets talked about until they're in a body bag.
9 News Adelaide shines a light on violence against women. The stories of victims turning pain into change. The survivors desperate for more help. And how we all have the power to help end this crisis. Watch the full series on 9 Now. Poignant scenes in France where the last surviving D-Day veterans were honoured at ceremonies across the beaches of Normandy.
US President Joe Biden used the occasion to deliver a rallying cry, urging the world to keep supporting a current battle for freedom in Ukraine.
Along the Normandy coast, a roll call of world leaders, kings, queens, princes, prime ministers and presidents. Even Hollywood royalty attended D-Day services. But it was the veterans that were the VIPs. Ceremonies were held at various beaches where an armada of 160,000 Allied forces came ashore 80 years ago.
It is with the most profound sense of gratitude that we remember them.
The King opening the British service, outgoing Governor-General David Hurley representing Australia, emotions running high. There was a special moment for 103-year-old Christian Lamb, awarded France's Legion of Honour for creating detailed maps of the landing for troops.
You were not there in person, dear Christian Lamb, but you guided each step they took.
At the American service nearby, parallels with a current war, the US president promising not to abandon Ukraine.
Were we to do that, it means we'd be forgetting what happened here in these hallowed beaches.
Ukrainian President Zelensky given a hero's welcome. But for a beautiful bond with another man who fought for freedom.
Oh, you're the savior of the people.
With the official commemorations over, it was time for celebrations, a chance to say merci.
Here in the seaside village of Aramonch, it's an incredible, almost festival-like atmosphere with people from right around the world coming together to share a drink, celebrate bravery and freedom.
As D-Day veterans once again took centre stage.
How do you feel being back 80 years on?
Sorrow for all the lovely friends I've made on the island, and also my comrades in the Navy.
8 decades later, the memories of that day are still painful.
Pretty emotional. Those boys in the water, amazing.
It's likely this will be the last major D-Day anniversary attended by veterans, many close to 100. But what's clear is that their service and sacrifice will be remembered long after they're gone. In Normandy, France, Jessica Millward, 9 News.
There are increased tensions between the United States and Israel tonight, with America telling its ally it must be fully transparent about an airstrike that killed at least 35 people at a school in Gaza. It follows Spain asking a UN court to join South Africa's case against Israel, accusing it of genocide. At least 6 people, most of them children, have been killed after their school bus plunged into a river in Syria's northwest. More than 20 people were also injured, rescue crews spending 6 hours searching the water for survivors. A major operation in the English Channel overnight, where 80 migrants were rescued after their boat struck trouble. It took 4 large vessels, 2 lifeboats and 2 Coast Guard helicopters to bring everyone to safety.
Elon Musk's Starship has gone further than it has before. The unmanned rocket safely returning to Earth for the first time. And splashdown for SpaceX's landmark moment was off the coast of Australia.
Starship is the world's largest and most powerful rocket, and with it, Elon Musk is dreaming of the moon and stars. And now he might be a step closer.
We have the stars.
The 4th test flight captured from many angles for what would become this mission's greatest achievement yet. Above Earth, separation, and the booster returning to Earth.
The landing has just begun, and you can see the water below, and we have splashdown.
And there was more to come. Starship soared for 40 minutes.
So exciting, we got another ship in space.
I'm still jumping up and down.
But what goes up must come down. 18,000 tiles trying to protect it during re-entry from temperatures of 1,400 degrees. The camera cracked, the picture grainy, but this was a victory for SpaceX.
Starship is in landing zone.
Splashing down in the Indian Ocean off Australia's northwest coast.
What a day.
Jubilation for Elon Musk. Congratulations, team, on an epic achievement, he said. Theirs not the only achievement in space today. Boeing's Starliner docking with the International Space Station after years of delay.
And I just want to say a big thanks to family and friends who've lived this for a long time.
Mankind soaring towards a new era out of this world. In the United States, Jonathan Kersley, 9 News.
Well, Netflix has been hit with a $255 million lawsuit over the hit TV series Baby Reindeer. Scottish woman Fiona Harvey is suing the streaming service, claiming a character in the show is based on her and that she was falsely depicted as an obsessed stalker. Netflix says it intends to vigorously defend the matter.
Troubled waters for park authorities in China, forced to admit they'd tampered with a popular tourist site. A social media user has uncovered an attraction billed as China's tallest uninterrupted waterfall, which is actually supplied by a man-made pipe. Operators then admitted they'd made a, quote, small enhancement so visitors wouldn't be disappointed.
Predicting dementia before diagnosis.
When Adelaide's 9 News returns, Aussie researchers behind a test that can foresee the condition. How it works is next.
See the portrait that's won Australia's most prestigious art prize this year.
And a cheeky Aussie equestrian legend keeps his gold medal dream alive.
Australian scientists are developing a brain scan that can detect early signs of dementia up to a decade before symptoms develop. They hope the game-changing MRI could be combined with existing blood tests to improve the accuracy of diagnosis.
With these tests more widely available, we will be able to treat these people earlier in the disease.
Dementia is among the leading causes of death in Australia.
The 2024 Archibald Prize winner has been revealed. Artist Laura Jones taking up the title for her portrait of author Tim Winton in a unanimous decision by the judges.
I hope that my painting reminds everyone of what an incredible and inspiring human being he is.
She's only the 12th female artist to win the $100,000 prize.
Headline-grabbing equestrian rider Shane Rose, who broke 18 bones after a recent fall, is back in the saddle and looking to compete in Paris. 9 News caught up with the three-time Olympic medalist at a warm-up event in Victoria.
Equestrian Shane Rose is determined to saddle up for his 4th Olympics, despite breaking 18 bones in a horror fall from a horse just 3 months ago.
Femur, hip, pelvis, a bunch of ribs and 3 fractures in my right elbow, so pretty much everything through the middle.
From his hospital bed in early March, his surgeon told him recovery would be slow.
10 to 12 weeks before I'm weight bearing, and I was thinking as he left that I'm probably going to need a new doctor because that's not going to work with my schedule.
This weekend, the 51-year-old is competing at this national warm-up event to show selectors he's ready and raring to represent Australia.
I'm definitely going to be 100% come Paris.
But in February, Shane's Olympic dream was almost derailed when he donned a mankini on horseback for a fancy dress event, sparking complaints. An apology quelled the costume controversy.
It got the reaction I was hoping for at the event. I thought it would stay at the event.
Also vying for selection is 27-year-old Shanae Lowings on Thoroughbred Bold Ventures, an ex-racehorse.
There's a lot riding on this event, but he's got some great results so far.
Australia's equestrian athletes are now hoping for no more hurdles in the lead-up to the Paris Olympics.
If I win a gold medal, maybe you'll see a mankini somewhere sometime, but no, look, it was a bit of fun in the past, but looking forward to hopefully representing Australia and doing us proud.
Emily Rice, 9 News.
Well done. What a turnaround. But Reddy, unfortunately, the same could not be said for the Crows.
No. And the players, they're backing themselves to turn it around. But, of course, that is a lot easier said than done. We'll have more on the mission to rescue their season next as the embattled coach backs his players to turn the tide. The Thunderbirds set to sparkle on netball's biggest stage. And a debut to forget for a pair of Aussies at the NBA Finals. Hello again. Embattled Crows coach Matthew Nicks insists he has the personnel to compete for a premiership even after a loss to Richmond saw the club sink to rock bottom. He has an almighty task to turn things around, starting with finding out how to buck an increasingly concerning trend.
It looked like business as usual at West Lakes, but there was no sign of anyone from last night's sobering loss to Richmond.
Tough morning to wake up after that.
And embattled coach Matthew Nicks warns there could be more pain to come.
We don't have excuses. We're not good enough at this point. It's going to be a tough one for us to turn around.
On paper, it had all the makings of a Crows win, with the club desperate to atone for that embarrassing loss to Hawthorn. But an injury-ravaged Richmond had other ideas.
Caresses at home! Huge goal!
The Tigers turning it on with 5 unanswered in the premiership quarter, which again left Adelaide struggling to hold momentum.
Unfortunately, it's becoming a trend for us. That's why we're where we're at.
The Crows list has also copped its fair share of scrutiny, but Nicks insists his personnel aren't the issue.
I'm confident we have the list. like everyone in the competition at the moment, it's been a tough year.
While Ben Keys concedes this feels about as bad as the club's wooden spoon season.
It's pretty close to, being the flattest period.
If there were any silver linings, debutant Billy Dowling showed some promising signs.
Here's a chance for the first gamer. Billy Dowling! Take it back, Billy!
Even if he failed to convert in crunch time.
Has misfired. Missed the lot.
While defender James Borlase showed some spunk after being shifted up forward.
And they all come to James Borlase in celebration.
Kieran Strawn also in on the action before being subbed out, but expects he'll be fit to face Adelaide Sydney next Saturday. Emma Henderson, 9 News.
Let's get to tennis. There were tears at Roland Garros during Coco Gauff's semi-final loss to Iga Swiatek. An umpire's call went against the American and she was having none of it.
He called it and then I hit it. I'm 1,000% sure.
For me, it did not affect your shot.
But if he called it before he hit it, I stopped my reaction. I didn't even finish my follow-through.
Yeah, I think she had a case there, Coco, and she was seen wiping away tears. She eventually lost in straight sets and later called for video technology at all events. Well, Thunderbirds duo Georgie Horgis and Matilda Garrett have been rewarded for their outstanding form, both picked in the Australian Diamond squad. For Horgis, being named in the 18-player squad was a first, and telling her parents proved a major highlight.
They were both really excited, had a few tears. They've been a big part of my career and big supporters, so it was very special to tell them.
Fantastic stuff. The good news didn't stop there, with fellow South Aussie shooter Lucy Austin invited as a train-on player as the Diamonds begin preparing for the 2027 World Cup. Let's go to basketball. Boston has comfortably dismantled Dallas in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, with the Celtics cruising to an 18-point win. Our two Aussie hopes on the Mavericks in Josh Green and Dante Exum both had relatively quiet games, but it was fashion that caught the eye of fans.
Boston might be on the opposite coast to Hollywood, but the NBA Finals always bring out the best glitz and glamour. Kyrie Irving seemed ready to play with the ball in hand. Celtics player Jaylen Brown rocking an all-black fit. Fashion aside, there was a big game to be played. Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
Time to play basketball. 4 more wins to take home the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
A thunderous slam dunk opened proceedings.
Al Horford with the first bucket.
Celtics big man Kristaps Porzingis dazzling in his return from a calf injury.
Porzingis way outside, knocks down another.
His 18 points at halftime helping Boston to a 21-point lead heading into the main break. The action not missed back home either. Live sites across the country attracting keen visitors, including Essendon's Andy McGrath and Carlton's Charlie Curnow. Aussie NBA player Dyson Daniels choosing his countrymen to win it all.
I want Dallas. We got Aussie boys on Dallas. I'm hoping they can, get up and, make it competitive games.
Back over in the US, the Mavs were mounting a third-quarter comeback, closing to within single digits. But the Boston Stars shined brightest, winning 107-89.
There's a lot of things we feel like we could do better, but it definitely does feel good to win the first game.
As for our Aussie boys, Josh Green chipped in with 3 points. Exum left scoreless in just 5 minutes of game time. They both get a chance to claw back a game in the series. Game 2 to be played Monday morning. Trent Neese, 9 News.
Well, finally tonight, Adelaide is playing host to the Australian Diving Championships this weekend. And for one local teenager, there's plenty at stake. Jackson Bouchier will battle nerves with a couple of close mates as he dives for his ticket to Paris.
At his home pool at Marion, Jackson Bouchier struts with confidence, but on the inside, the butterflies are starting to flutter as he stares down a date with destiny years in the making.
When I was very young, I thought I want to go to the Olympics, and to be honest, looking back on it, that was very unlikely at the time. I didn't think I'd get this far.
But last year, the 18-year-old from Fulham Gardens began making a splash, or in this sport, quite literally the opposite, and that form qualified him for the World Championships.
It's like, I'm actually at this level now. It's definitely a mental game, and if pressure gets to you, it can go wrong.
On Saturday, it's high stakes from great heights as he takes on good mate Sam Fricker on the 10-metre platform for a spot on the Olympic team.
When competition comes around, everyone knows it's fair game. It's what it is. There's nothing we can do to change it, and it's may the best man win.
Regardless of his results this weekend, Jackson is about to shoot for the stars in the US, moving to Texas in August to study aerospace engineering and pursue his dream of becoming an F1 engineer.
I'm interested in motor racing, I always have been. To be honest, if I didn't do diving, I would have liked to have ended up in go-karting of some kind and see where that took me.
But for now, that plan is in the pits. It's his precision in the pool that he's hoping will jet him and his family onto the biggest stage of all.
My mum's always wanted to go to Paris, even before it was like the Olympics are going to be in Paris. She's always loved the idea of going to Paris, and so my dad's always been on board with it.
Corey Norris, 9 News.
Good luck to him. Now, the Olympic trials continue across the weekend. It is free to go and going to be streamed live on 9 Now, so that is exciting news.
Yeah, first time in almost 20 years or more, I think, that Adelaide's hosted the National Diving Trials.
Which is fantastic.
Great way to build in the anticipation into Paris.
Absolutely, momentum is building. Thanks so much, Tom. Well, let's go to Money Matters now, and it was a strong week on finance screens with banks among the big winners. Here's Chris Kohler.
Interest rate cuts in Canada and Europe, commodity price rises and big gains for banks. A combination of all those factors saw the ASX just cap off its best week this year, gaining 0.5% today and 2% since Monday. Commonwealth Bank shareholders head into the weekend with a smile on their dial, the stock hitting new record highs. And while mining companies were better today, they did fall over the week. The Australian dollar crept higher today against most major currencies too, but a month ago it was buying $1.10 New Zealand, now down to $1.07. Bit of a sting for those heading over for a holiday this winter.
Thank you, Chris. And just the chance of some rain the next few days. Chelsea Carey joins us with the long weekend forecast next.
For now, keep in mind tomorrow's speed cameras.
Wake up and laugh with Adelaide's #1 breakfast show.
Rudits and Laws, weekdays on 104.7 Triple M.
For the latest Adelaide news and traffic.
Hello again. Well, it is the opening night of the Adelaide Cabaret Festival. In just a few minutes, the Variety Gala will kick off here at the Festival Centre. The last of the glammed up guests are arriving here on the red carpet at the moment. I have chosen my most festive coat for tonight, and thankfully it is one of my warmest as well. It's sitting on 13 degrees here in the city at the moment. Our top today was 15.6. There has been a fair bit of cloud around Adelaide today, just the odd glimpse of sunshine. Temperatures quite cool. 16 the top at Elizabeth, Glenelg and Noarlunga, just 10 on Mount Lofty. A frosty start through the mid-north today, down around 1 degree at Snowtown. Also over in the west, a chilly start at Ceduna before a top of 18. A mostly dry day across the state, but just some cloud around parts of the York Peninsula, KI and Victor Harbour. 15 the top on Hindmarsh Island. Now, skies are mostly dry under a ridge of high pressure, but a cold front will clip the south of SA tomorrow night, bringing a few showers before a stronger front rolls through on Tuesday. If you're travelling interstate this weekend, a couple of showers around Sydney tomorrow. A late shower for Melbourne, just a top of 15. Up in Brisbane, you can find the sunshine there and warmer as well, heading for 22. Back home, looking dry across our north and west, a top of 17 for Port Augusta and Whyalla. Clare, a bit of a cold pocket, just at 13 the top there. There is a chance of a couple of showers developing around the south tomorrow night with this front, maybe a millimetre at Mount Gambier, but for the most part looking at a dry, cloudy day. 16 the top for Victor Harbour, 15 for Renmark after a cold start, and a frost warning has been issued for the Riverland and mid-north. A calm day on the water, variable winds around 10 knots. So across Adelaide, really quite similar to today, some cloud around the suburbs and the hills. And there is a slight chance of a shower in the south. 16 the top for Noarlunga and Glenelg, 14 for Mount Barker. Here in the city, down to 6 tonight. Tomorrow, a cloudy 16. On Sunday, well, there is a chance of the odd shower around, more likely through the southern suburbs. A partly cloudy 18 at the top. For your public holiday on Monday, well, it is looking mostly dry, just a chance of the odd shower around. Then that front rolls through on Tuesday. That's when we'll see the bulk of the showers, a couple of showers in the wake of it. So really quite a wintry forecast, but plenty of glitz and glamour here at the Adelaide Cabaret Festival to brighten it up. Brenton and Kate.
Looks like we'll be be singing in the rain. Thanks so much, Chelsea. And that's our bulletin for this Friday. Thanks for your company.
Will McDonald is back at the desk tomorrow and Sunday. In the meantime, here's a current affair. From all the team, have a happy and safe long weekend.
Good night.